Hey, welcome back to our dozen point quilt along. Are your fingers already itching? We are now on week 2 when we want to cut our fabrics. I hope you have found your favorite picks and have shown that on Instagram. I'm really eager to see what you have chosen. We will pick each week a winner of all those Instagram posts, and then afterwards we will bring it into our concerning blog posts. So you will find the winner of week 1 in the blog post of week 1. Just a little reminder, I will give you all my tips and demos how to sew the quilt. Nevertheless, you have to buy the pattern for all the measurements and materials lists. So now let's get started. So this is my background, and I first trimmed already off this part to have a straight and sleek edge. Now I turn it around because I can easier cut from the right hand side. And I want now to cut the larger triangles which we have at the edges, and I cut squares and then split them in 4 triangles diagonally. So I need 9 of them, and I can get 5 from the width of fabric, so I cut 5 here and then later 4 here. Maybe I can do that at the same time. Cut 2 layers at the same time to be a little bit more efficient here. So you should have a sharp rotary blade, and you can cut through 4 layers at one time. These will later become the triangles at the edge, and we want to cut them in a way that the large edge is on the grain so that it doesn't stretch too much. See, the shorter ones are more stretchy. So you want to split them diagonally. One more. Now when I have all these edges done, I need also triangles for the corner of the quilt, and I can cut the triangles from the remaining fabric here. So let's do that. And we need just 4 of them for the corners. Now, why did I split them only 1 time diagonally? Because now this is the outer edge and this shouldn't stretch, so we cut that on the grain, while the longer edge is now on the bias. So we want to have these both edges stiff and stable like that, because, so see, this then will be built like that. Okay, I am done with all the triangles, piece of cake. The smaller ones on top. Now off to the squares. So we need nearly 200 from the background, and therefore I will use my slot ruler, then I can cut them quite efficiently. So the slot ruler, you see, allows me only cuts in that size. So that's why I fold the width of my fabric another time. We have now a quarter of the width of the fabric. And I start, well, I think I do that for the complete fabric first. Just roughly, so I can handle it better. So, okay. This slot ruler even nests a little bit with the first slot on the cut. See, and then this line has to match my fold. The slot ruler allows me to do more cuts at one time without rearranging the ruler again and again, so it saves me a bit of time. I have one arrangement for 2 cuts. Now, when you have cut all the strips from the width of your fabric, now you split them in square segments. I try to layer 3 strips or 6 layers at one time. Let's see if my rotary blade will make it. Hey. Did I already mention that I love my slot ruler? Already, I mean, it's so much easier if you have only to lay the ruler down one time and then can make 2 cuts in a row. So I will give you the link for mine below. Now this is a weight on weight fabric. It's from my Spotted collection. It reads like a solid, but still it has a white print on a white background. Now, when I have layered them, my complete stack is then in a way that sometimes the right side shows up, sometimes the wrong side will show up. So later when I use them to applicate the circles, I have to be very careful to pick the right side facing up. Here we go. All the background fabric is cut, ready to go for the dots to sew on. But wait a minute, I have to cut my yardage for the dots too. While the original Dots and Point quilt has been sewn with the Champex from the brand new Flirtation collection, in this sew along I make another variation together with you, and I used an assortment of my Spotted fabrics in yellow, in blue, kind of a gradient you could say, like a sundowner. So if you want to make exactly the same version as I do here, I'll give you a list of all the fabric numbers in blog post week 1. Okay. Now I cut my yellow gradient into strips, which I then will sew together in the next week to strip sets, and then split the strip sets into segments. If you go with a Champex, for example, then you only have to cut the pieces from the Champex. Or if you go with your scrap box, then you cut your pieces from all those different scraps. Or if you have strips to start with, you can skip even this step, because then you will join the strips next week, and from there you will go ahead. So this last step for the dots is for charm packs, yardage and scraps only. It has something meditative to cut through and to have those beautifully organized stacks of strips afterwards. So, the task for this week is done. How long did it take? Maybe not nearly an hour. So I have now cut all my fabrics, as well for the backgrounds as for the dots. And I can't wait to see your fabric choices. Please post them on Instagram so you have a chance to win the weekly prize. We will see each other next week when we start sewing on the dots. Until then, have a good cutting time.